Hello everybody. We're going to discuss another intermediate topic today. When you reach level 10, you have the ability to mount signals and flags, and when you reach level 11, you get camouflage. Both of these are tools that can make your ship more functional, can reduce the cost of operations, and decorate the ship to reflect personal preferences or a special cause. A video that completely explained every signal would be a lot longer than anybody would want to sit and watch. The same thing is true for all the variations on camouflage, and there are lots and lots of flags that you can accumulate over time. Most of these are detailed quite well in the wiki, so I'm going to go over their use and understanding how to make the most of them, because that is something that is more appropriately actually handled in a video where you can sort of see and have a discussion about it. You access them as they become available by clicking on the external tab up above in port. And when you do, you will get 3 tabs, one for camouflage, one for signals, one for flags. Obviously, camouflage won't show up actually until you reach the next level. Flags are the simplest probably to understand. Some are given for special events. Some show up in crates. Some show up because you bought a premium ship or completed a campaign. Some because you may have a special status within the wargaming community. So, for example, there was a period of time where if you were a veteran uh, flag completer, you got a flag you could fly that reduced the cost of operations. In rank battles, in clan battles, you can reach certain levels and you get flags that give you discounts on the operation of your ship. Some, like the one I've got on this Des Moines, commemorate in this case the Battle of Midway. It also shows that I reached rank 15 in the 4th season of ranked battles. So you can also use them to sort of indicate either something special. I always thought the Battle of Midway was one of the most important battles ever fought, or just because you feel like it, you like the flag. With certain campaigns or certain skippers, you can fly more than one flag. Yamato has his own flag, and completing things will give you the ability to fly 2 flags in campaigns. Signals, which also come with level 10, are ways to hang streamers on a mast, and they will affect how the ship behaves or the rewards for the ship. They fall into 3 categories: combat, economic, and special. So clicking on the signals tab, open those up, and you can see that on my Des Moines right now I have, as a check mark next to it, a Papa Papa flag. And that indicates that I will get 300% free XP over and above by flying this flag during a battle. Now, here's where you get into some of the choices. Do you want to do this on a first battle where it might augment? Are you grinding? Because you can get these in containers. You can get them for completing stuff in campaigns. There are super containers that might drop 20 or 30 on you. Or you can buy them for doubloons, 8 doubloons a pop. What they will give you is the ability to quickly add free XP. So if you are trying to grind for a special ship or to get out of a ship you just can't stand to get to the next one, Papa Papa's not a bad one to run. Keep in mind that you might go ahead, since the free XP is based on the amount of XP in a battle, and run another economic flag, and that is the amount of XP per battle. That's 16 doubloons a shot, so they can add up. You can also get them in various and sundry containers, in campaigns or combat missions, so keep an eye open for those if you need a flag. And another thing is you can get them for a rather exotic one, Kraken Unleashed, just like Papa Papa was for Solo Warrior. I've got roughly 18,000 battles, and I'm ahead of average having 8 Solo Warriors. It's a long way between doing that. You have to be the only survivor and win against at least 4 opponents at the time that you became the only player on your side. The combat does just what they sound like. For example, the November Echo 16 does additional AA damage and the self-defense fire of carrier-based aircraft or other aircraft that might have armor like a scout plane or a catapult fighter. The November Foxtrot improves the reload time of consumables. So if you're going into an area where radar or your HP pool is important, that might give you a hand. So as you can see, there's 12 of these. This one, detonation, I tend to run that especially on like Khabarovsk, who's prone to detonation. While there is an upgrade that can reduce it, this goes ahead and eliminates the chance. That can be nicely paired with something like Juliet Whiskey Uni 1. That increases the chance of causing flooding, but the risk of detonation goes up. The same is true for fire damage. With India X-ray. That goes ahead and gives you an increase in the chance of dropping fire on somebody, but your chance of blowing up from a magazine det goes up as well. Others will reduce flooding time, fire time, this kind of stuff. There are a number of special containers. I'm sorry, signals. These are often gotten in containers or for special promotions. The anniversary, for the second anniversary of Warships, you had a chance to really scoop up some dragon flags. This is another one of these triangular shaped flags. It's yellow in color, and the dragon flag will go ahead and increase the amount of Commander XP by 333%. The red dragon gives you XP per battle up 100% and Commander XP by 100%. Again, this could be combined with something like Papa Papa to really boost the amount of free XP earning, since it is based on part on your XP. The special flags, I mentioned the dragon flag, the wyvern flag, which is green. It goes ahead and adds 50% to credits earned for the battle. Red Dragon, which you're looking at here, like I mentioned, 100 XP and Commander XP. The Ouroboros is 777% free XP. That's a really goodie if you're trying to grind for something special. And the Hydra gives you 50% XP, 150% Commander XP, and 250% free XP. I have some of those periodically. Right now I'm grinding for a premium shit where I need 750 free XP, so they don't stay very long. Be aware that you can only hang so many flags based on the amount of yard arm the ship has. When one over gets loaded, the first one hoisted gets taken off. So you might want to keep an eye in the lower right hand corner if you're hanging a bunch of flags to make sure when you hit that one you really want isn't kicked off and you get something that was, well, I might as well add that too. So that pretty well handles signals. Signals work once. You fight the battle, when you come back, win, lose, draw, signal's gone. So a couple of things. If you're running a scenario and think, boy, I'm going to get a lot of stuff, and you forget to switch from random to scenario, you're going to find yourself in a random battle, and you won't be getting necessarily the same payback that you were expecting. So it's a good idea to be very careful as you're hanging these things, unless you've got lots. You'll notice I've got like 2,000 India Bravo Terra 3. That's obtained for a flesh wound. I get lots of those. I get some in containers, and I don't spend them as fast as I get them. Some are much rarer or more valuable. You can go into your inventory and sell signals, but it generally, unless you just are never going to use that signal, like for instance, it just does something that you don't need, it's generally a good idea to build them. So that pretty well handles signals. Now, let me see if I can get the Des Moines here in an angle. And let me get rid of this here. This will make it easier to see the, well, I hope it would make it easier. That's because I'm in exterior. If we're in port, you could see it easier. You can see right now that this Des Moines is just got its basic armor hanging out there with a little bit of paint on it. But they found out, actually, that putting weird dazzle patterns, that's what it's called, dazzle camouflage, can make a ship harder to see. And so World of Warships has used that with camouflage as part of the game meta. And, oh, good, now we got it where we can see it. And different ships have different abilities depending on things. Let me get back to the Shima. All right. You'll notice that the Shima has these weird rainbow or color wheel things around some of these camouflages. This is my current collection of camouflage. Some will always show up, and some will come with, again, containers or events or missions or what have you. Right now on the Shima, I have the premium camouflage, and I need to get another ship where I can actually show you that I don't have premium camo on. Gajamada is an example. Tier 8, it's generally 2,000. Be aware that sometimes these go on sale. If they are, and you run the ship a lot, they're really worth considering. They vary on what they offer as you go up tiered, and premium ships generally come with their own special premium camo. But for tier 8 and above, you can buy it. So tier 8 is generally 2,000. Sometimes it's half sale or 50% or 25% off. Again, it's worth considering because if you look at this, detectability and range by sea and dispersion of shells shot at you both go down, and the cost of post-battle repair goes down, and the XP per battle goes up. And as you go up to tier 10, it goes up even more. But also so does the cost. At tier 10, it's like 5,000 doubloons. So you're talking about 25 bucks, although sometimes both doubloons and the camo go on sale, usually not at the same time, but that would be nice. There are some standard camouflages that are easy to come by or you can buy, and it depends. I've got a bunch here. I think these are like 7,000 credits each for Type 1 and Type 2. They offer some of the benefits of the fancy camo. It reduces detectability for Type 1 and dispersion for Type 2. So if you've got a ship that, well, it's going to get seen anyway, I don't worry about detectability, you might want to consider saving if you are just using one of these simple camos. This is Type 5. Generally, this is what people consider the pay for it as you use it premium camo. It decreases detectability by sea, and dispersion of shells fired by the enemy gets worse for them, which is good for you, and it costs 22.5. Sometimes during various things, they will reduce the cost of these by half. But then there are specials. This was for a Halloween promo, and it offers the same benefits as 5 plus 100% XP per battle. And I've still got a slew of those. Some of these you can really acquire if you're playing missions and stuff that generate them. That's how I ended up with a bunch of Ocean, which is very much like types, the Type 6. Type 6 you can buy. But you can also get them in crates. I didn't go off and buy 94 of these things. Again, that's basically the same -3 detectability, +4 to dispersion, and 100 XP per battle. The Ocean Soul adds 20% credit. So you can see each of these is different. Some get really generous. So for example, Happy Pi Day, which comes around once a year, and this year they actually had a pi squared or pi doubled. And so on 628 and 314, they offered these, and you can see that in addition to the -3 and the +4, you get 314% to Commander XP and free XP. So I'm going to be using those as a part of my grind. They can also be real handy if you're trying to level up a commander, things like that. And you can see there's a whole slew of these, and it's sort of a pick of what you've got. Be aware when something comes up because, let me switch over here. If you go into combat missions and stuff, um, they will periodically offer missions um, that will give you, like here, if you want to go into clan battles, at least once, you will automatically get all of these flags, which is pretty cool because those are the real specialty flags. Um, and challenges is often another good place to look for flags. Cherry Blossom, this is get 3 stars and be in the top 4, and you will get a Stars and Stripe, can be completed 3 times a day. So it goes over several days. You can collect some of that camo. So if you're looking for camo, that's a good way to go shopping without having to pay for it. Um, as I mentioned, and let me get back to my Des Moines, and we'll go ahead and put on the special camo. So again, exterior, and well, it is mounted. You can mount and demount. Early on, if you put it on, I forget which rev it was in the game, if you demounted it, you lost it, which could be painful. Now you can demount it, and let's say you really thought, well, I'm going to have good luck in my Des Moines today. I'm going to go ahead and push for all the free XP and Command XP I can. You can mount that. Usually I go ahead and leave the premium on. Remember that if you're already getting 100 XP per battle, you're not getting the full benefit of the camo against another ship that, so a lot of nuances in this, if you will. Now, as you advance in some of these campaigns, like I mentioned, you can go ahead and actually change the appearance of some camos. So I can go between the blue and the green. And these are becoming more common. The Halsey campaign is offering that virtually for all U.S. ships if you complete it. But anyway, that's a quick rundown of camos, signals, and flags. Um, Generally speaking, once you reach those tiers, especially the camo, people tend to run camo and flags pretty much every battle. Some people run flags all the time when they have them, but remember they're a renewable resource that you can also run out of, and that's true of the specialty camos. The Type 1, Type 2, Type 5, and the premium camos are always available, and you only have to buy the Type 1. Notice that you can enable auto resupply. Now, be aware that if something costs and you enable it, you may have a stock, let's say, of Papa Papas. When you run out of stock, when that game ends, your account is going to go down 8 doubloons, and you will have that Papa Papa put on. So if you weren't planning on spending doubloons on that, be cautious. But anyway, camouflage signals and flags, a very nice addition to the game when you reach levels 10 and level 11. I hope this was informative, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing, and we'll see you out there. Take care.